Hello, 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 all. How are we all today? Well, I need to check something before we go into our what we've been doing the last few weeks, which is that horror kaiju thing, because I don't think the Popcross Studios thing is open to um, put in anything. No. I just forget which one that he did this on. I think it was this one. Okay, so nobody's here. Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't I'm just trying to figure out which one that this. Okay, then not that one. No, October. Okay, this is okay. Wrong month. Okay, so this is for redraw part one. Okay. Okay, so I was supposed to have this in by November 22nd, and it is the 26th today, so that will not be happening. So, oh well. So I guess what we will do then is we will continue on with our things, our characters. So I'm gonna have to write it down if I decide to post do one this month for whatever suggests in about a week's time or later this week. So yeah, Mert 5'8". Let me bring up a picture of Merv. Okay, this is sort of what she looks like. Um, we should have another image. Image for. Um, I did this for her look for her when she maybe gets a superhero costume. I don't know. Or supervillain costume, I should say, more accurately. It's either that or what's this? Let me. Uh, let me get a picture up so I can see the character myself. I didn't open it. There we go. Hey, Mike, how are you? Okay, so 5'8". Let's zoom in here. Yeah, that should be close to 5'8", I think. So, oh, that's good. Oh, how's your shows been going this week? What have you been reading about? Okay, so I know she was at. Do I have a? I gotta see whether I have a thing up on my website for her. Mary Mercury, Housewife, Meadows, Jane, Saskatchewan. the eyes summer. Mary being told that Mary being told that she was to find a husband and have kids, and that was what life was all about. So when she was old enough, she started dating, and ended up finding a guy she would marry. They did so after high school. Several years into the marriage, she gets deathly ill with the doctors being able to do nothing to save her. At this, her husband, not wanting to lose her, seeks out all ways to help her. Eventually finds someone with very experimental procedure. This is so secret that it is black market experimental, thus the costs are high. The experiment seems to go well and she is cured of the illness. There are, however, some unintended side effects. This leaving her body to become liquid metal, mercury, thus giving her the transformative abilities. Another thing that happened due to the experiment is she goes temporarily insane and goes on destructive rampages, calling herself Merc. So, she wouldn't necessarily get a suit, it's just whatever she's wearing. She ends up going into the rampages on. Hey, Parasocial. Last night had Metal on as we went over the Avi article about Roma and a half. Okay, cool. Tonight went over the history of the Smurfs cartoon from the 1980s. Cool. Sounds good. Maybe I will have to go back and watch. So how are you tonight, Elk? Not lately. I should probably give him a call soon. It's been a few weeks. As I was telling you before, his grandfather uh, is in the hospital, ill with something. I'm not sure whether he's going to be going back home or they're just keeping him in the hospital, and he's wanting to spend as much time with his grandfather as possible because he was only given like 3 to 6 months. Um, so I haven't talked to him since I initially talked to him and found that out. Um, I could probably give him a text and shoot him an email. Probably easier to give him a text. And I asked him whether I could say anything, and he said, "You can say something if somebody asks." And you asked. Well, this second time, I'm not sure whether you remember when I told you a little bit about it a couple weeks ago when you asked a couple weeks ago. And I think somebody else asked. as well. Say hi if you don't mind. I don't have his young number yet. I know. I got it. I got it about I don't know, about a year or two ago. Heck, I even know his real name, which I will not say because he does not want that revealed. And before I actually went looking for his phone number, well, sort of went looking for his phone number, I forgot I even knew his real name. And if you're wondering, the reason I'm not working on the horror kaiju tonight is because, unfortunately, I'm too late to put in for the deadline. Deadline was the 22nd, and I didn't realize it. So if I end up working on the one for next month, which I should find out what that is, probably Friday. Uh, we are Hotep. Yeah. Yeah, he sent me some stuff. Actually, the webcam that I'm using and the mic that I'm using. He sent me that, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. A couple of years back, and he was giving me those. Okay, so I want to change that one arm at some point. Hotep, what's Hotep got to do? Evan Hotep have to do with DKS? That's who I think you're referring to when you say Hotep. So Alp, if you're still here, have you watched the show Alone? Google it. Hotep is conversational, meaning anti-woke, Black American spiritual Political cultural movement. Oh, okay, I did not realize that. And here all this time I thought it was something Egyptian. Because Amenhotep was a person that came around here, and he was a mummy. He he dressed up in a attire was a mummy, so he went with the mummy motif. Yeah, it's also Hotep is an Egyptian word that roughly translates as to be satisfied at peace. The word also refers to an offering of ritual presented as a deity of a dead deity or a dead person, hence being pleased or gracious or at peace. So yeah, he was doing the whole Egyptian thing. Um, I think it's pretty good. It's a survivalist thing. The first two seasons are on Vancouver Island. They try to they 10 people are put out into the wilderness of Vancouver Island, northern Vancouver Island, and they're allowed 10 items. They're given safety stuff to survive, and they have like a thing that they can radio if they want to tap out. And the one that lasts the longest gets $500,000. And if they have to, some tap out because they can't deal with the mental thing of being alone. Some have to tap out because of getting injured. Because if they have to remove you because of medical thing, they can extract you because of medical because you've lost too much weight or whatever. There's I think 11 seasons of it. I'm on season 8 at the moment. Um, like I said, the first two on Vancouver Island. Then they went, I think, south to Pangolia, Pan something. I'm saying it wrong, the name. Then they came back to Vancouver Island. Then they went to Mongolia, and then they come back to the Arctic, Canadian Arctic. And this season, they did that for 2 seasons. Technically, they're still in the Arctic. They were at Graveslave Lake for 2 seasons, and each season it's a different. I haven't finished putting your hair in Alpha. Patagonia, yeah, Patagonia. Um, and this season they're in Grizzly Mountain. Oh, does she have blue hair too? No, she has orange hair, or it changes orange. Um, I will read her bio in a second here. Again. Okay. Okay. Oh, Patagonia is a famous Oh, I see. I thought she hated men for a second. No, she does not hate men. I will go over her bio again right here. Um, Mary, being told that she was to find a husband and have kids, and that was what life was all about. So when she was old enough, she started dating, ended up eventually finding a guy she would marry. Then after they did after high school. Several years into the marriage, she gets deathly ill, with the doctors being not being with deathly ill, with the doctors being able to do nothing to save her. At this, her husband does not want to see her lose her. He seeks out all ways to help her and eventually finds someone with a very experimental procedure. This is so secret that it is black market. Experimental thus costs are high. The experiment seems to go well and she is cured of the illness. There are, however, some unintended side effects. This leaving her body to become liquid metal, mercury, thus giving her transformative abilities. Another thing that happened due to the experiment is that she goes temporarily insane and goes on destructive rampages, calling herself Merc. Merc has no combat training and thus is a terrible hand-to-hand combat. She can transform her body parts into a variety of objects to fight with and destroying things. Her real name is Mary Mercury. Yeah, this is now. Now she looks normal. Yeah, cool. She's into this. Now she's a super wife. I wouldn't say super wife. She is a villain. Well, I have her being a villain, but it's more not by choice, you could say. She just goes on the destructive rampages. I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly triggers it, but obviously something triggers her to go on some sort of destructive rampage or whatever. You know, it's almost, you could say, Hulk-like. And how he transforms, but she doesn't transform completely physically. Maybe she cannot have babies. Oh, the process stopped her from being able to have. Well, that's probably a thing. If they could have kids already too. Um, when I did this drawing, I originally put her, as you can see, in some sort of like suburban housewife. Jogging suit or yoga suit. So technically, she could be in anything when she goes on the rampage. Uh, Maybe they have saved her over her kid over them. Yeah. Um, like I said, she's got a terrible illness. It's more what makes her want to go on a terrible rampage now that she's been, you know, quote unquote cured of whatever illness that she had. What is the triggering effect? Like, what what triggers the transformation into liquid metal? Um, Now I could have an idea that she believes it's unintentional, but there's somebody controlling the sort of transformation, an implantation, or something that she doesn't know about that will trigger. And that might be the better idea. And I have the perfect one or two people that would do that. The people, probably the person that the underground procedure was done through. Although they probably, I might make it so that they didn't have to pay. It was just a mysterious benefactor. Um, it would be either my character Cornerstone or my character Acer. They're sort of in super a super war with each other. Well, they're both like kingpins. One operates out of Montreal, the other operates out of Toronto. But they're competing, and I'm gonna have a few more little crime bosses, but they're the biggest two. Jeez, I did that hand again on the wrong level. But her first appearance is in Electide number 10. So she is out in she's in Regina, Saskatchewan. So well, her destructive rants, if I do have her controlled, although nobody knows, they could be going after. She's controlled by one of my two kingpins, if you will. Crime bosses. It could be to destroy. Maybe there's a more of implantation that I don't know about. Hey, Gemini. How are you? Good day to you as well. Okay, so this is Merc. Short for Mercury, and by Mercury I do not mean the planet or the god. I mean the substance, the metallurgical substance. Um, so I don't know. I'll show you. I was showing something earlier here. Take these both down. Okay. Image 3. Image 4. Let's see. Sorry for my bad internet tonight. I was thinking of later on this might be her costume if I put a costume on her. But with no discernible time when she's gonna go into a rampage, a costume seems she has this. Yeah, well that's just my bad drawing of women. Uh, when's the next Silhouette game? It will be on Thursday, and this is going to be an interesting one. This is the topic will be for you guys, or for the guys in the States here. It'll be Thanksgiving. It's going to be TV shows that have had a Thanksgiving episode or special, depends on how you want to word it. So I've taken a scene, I've cut the people out, or I'm taking scenes and I'm cutting the people out. Now, I'm not sure whether to use the original background or not, and have, like, I can do it one of two ways. I can have them whited out the characters and you see the background. I could even have the background there and then the characters blacked out. Or I could just not have the background at all and just the characters from the scene of the ship, from the still that I was able to get. What do you guys think for that? I'd show you an example, but I don't want to mess too much up for myself. Actually, there's a picture I might be able to do it with because I didn't use it. Uh, yeah. Hopefully, some of them will be easy. It's hard to tell. And that Thursday at 7 Eastern, I can deal with that. Okay, which way can you deal with? You know what? Did I take? I thought I. When I left it in. Okay, this is what I've been using. So like take this, it would be something like this, and then I obviously I'd go around, you know, this is just gonna be crudely done, so don't, I've done a better job. I'm just crudely doing basically what I did, but this isn't bad. I can't read what you're saying right now because I'm concentrating on this. Around. No. Uh, no, I can have it just like something like that. Okay. If you include any background, I suggest you mention it in your initial description. Otherwise, might seem unfair. Uh, okay, so it would be that, or I could do layer, background. Or we could do that. So, yeah, maybe. Um, Charlie Brown isn't a regular TV series, so that would not be included. These are regular TV series that have had a Thanksgiving episode or episodes or a special one. Well, I guess it's just an episode at that point, but or a special, maybe a special episode. So I don't know what way you all guys want to go. Whether you'd like just like that or just no background at all. Well, it'll be white. So, any thoughts from you guys? I might be able to get this if the pictures are good enough. I watched a lot of sitcoms. Now, for these ones, do you want a background or with blackouts or just whiteouts? Shall we call them? Because they're still silhouettes in a sense, they're just white instead of black. And you're just gonna have to name the show, not the characters. Hey, yeah, I think that would be a good thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, well, I'll make it so the backgrounds are there for these. You're just gonna have to name the show. If I can get this done in time, I might have it so the first person to name if they can name the actual episode, they might get an extra point. But I'm not saying that I'm gonna do that part. So I make sure I have every single episode for each one down properly, which episode the picture is out of. And those can be on two separate things because maybe you want to get in the show first because that's, and you don't want to take any time possibly losing points off of putting the show in to get one extra point. But I'll let you guys know on Thursday when I start whether the extra point thing for that day will be. So that gives you a nice haircut. You look so respectable. Thanks, I guess. Okay, so let's see. Let's grab Mark here. But how are you doing, Crooked Painter? Going to below. See. It's been a while. Okay, so there is that one. Let's get the new picture up for the new character. Pig Snorker. He's a penguin type character for me. Let's see. Let's Oh, you know what we haven't done yet? We haven't shared this out. So give me a sec. I want to share this out. Well, he's not a big guy. He's just the opposite. He is a shorty. He is 5 foot. Copy that. Let's put it in our Discord. And if you guys can like and share this out there, let more people know I'm here. Soon I will surpass him. Let's see. Okay, great. I just found out that your greatest champion, Brett the Hitman Knight, has been in 10, 14 comic titles. I am in 10. Soon I will surpass him. Yes, he is wide. He is 5 foot. So there we go. Let's take that out. Save. Well, soon, hopefully in the next, hopefully sometime in the new year, you'll have a chance to be in mine if you want. Canadian Shield number 3, pages 6, 7, and 9 are going to have it's inside of, well, part of it's inside of a church, part of it's not, and going to have a tier where you can pay to be in the congregation of the church. So, depending on where you are in the church, you may get in more than one panel. And then whenever I get to my Insecto book being up, there's a bus scene, and you're going to be able to be paid to be put on the bus. Or you can pay to be the bus driver, which that'll be more money because that's actually going to be a speaking line. He has a few lines. which I'm working on that on Saturday mornings at 10, usually at 12 noon or noon. So after 12 noon, afternoon, or sometimes I have to start a little early depending on what I've got going on a Saturday. Oh, and that reminds me, not that matters too much. Have you gotten any work done on the Ashcan Alpha? Is it a public bus? Yeah, public transportation. My character is having to use public transportation to get around, to meet up with his wife because they only have one car, and he hears over the radio about a villain in downtown St. John's. He's like, I gotta get off the bus and change. So, change into Insecto. So you see the bus driver as he's getting on asking, hey, does this bus go where I want it to go? And then, as he rings, after he rings the thing, he's getting off, the bus driver say, hey, this isn't the stop that you were wondering about. But unfortunately, that book is probably a couple years off at this point. Unless they start really going up. Sweet. Well, if we're gonna have you in the church and then on the bus, it probably won't have that. Maybe you're not. Maybe you just attending the church for whatever reason. But then on the bus, that makes you a recurring character. Who knows why you were, in there in the church in Northern Ontario, and now you're in, you know, St. John's, New Brunswick. Right. Yeah. Hold on, people. Sorry. You don't want me being in the church. Well, you can pee in the church just as long as it's in the bathroom. Well, in the urinal or in the toilet. Okay. For those that are here and may or may not want to know a little bit of the history of Pachenarker, hopefully I have it. James Runt is his name. He's 5 foot, 275 pounds, small time crime boss. His first appearance is in Sector 8. He had auburn hair and blue eyes. James was born a short and very skinny boy. While growing up, the other kids in school taunted him unmercifully about his size. All this, all this taunting to him, and the others made him. All this taunting to him, and I'm not sure why I put and others, made him to be a loser in high school. So no girls wanted to date him. In his mid-20s, Jim reads about an experimental new weight gain drug that people are developing. It is, and they're looking for guinea pigs to test it out on 1 week trials. At this, Jim goes and signs up because he wanted to gain some weight for the longest time, but never could. The week ends and Jim only gained a couple pounds. Through undisclosed means, Jim gets a month's supply worth of the drug, and as soon as he gets it home, Jim downs the entire month's supply in one shot, hoping to gain the weight he wants. Suddenly feeling tired after downing the month's supply of weight gain drugs, he goes to bed. Waking up and not feeling any different, he waddles into the bathroom. He then unconsciously walks on to the scale, and there he notices that he can't even see the scale readout due to his huge belly. With great effort, he pulls his belly a little out of the way and strains his head over to see the scale readout of 275 pounds. Realizing he needs a new wardrobe, he searches his apartment for an oversized pair of boxers he knows he had to use his shorts and one of his big baggy t-shirts. After finding these, he grabs a waist pouch and straps it on and stuffs his wallet inside and heads to the nearest big and tall shop. On the way to the store, Jim gets many snorts, snide remarks, and people pointing at him. Upon arriving at the store, he gets all the clothes he needs. Jim, with now being very pleasantly plump, he finds he gets even less respect than when he was skinny, and although he had not want to gain this much weight, he knew he had to live with his decisions. One day, while watching a gangster movie in the wee hours of the morning, Jim began to see that gangster bosses got a lot of respect. This got him to thinking of creating his own racket to get the respect he wanted. With this, he finds some dim-witted, muscle-bound guys and starts up a protection racket, and he slowly builds his list of crimes he gets guys to commit for him. People on the street start calling him Pig Snorker to mock him when he's not around. Jim hears of this and starts to use the name to inspire fear to all of those who hear the name. To go with this new name, he got some special pens built that can do various things. Pig Snorker has no hand-to-hand combat skills. For his fighting, he relies on pirate thugs. He, however, does have a vast array of pens that can do anything from release gases to exploding. So there's Pig Snorker. There we go. Anybody still here watching? As we draw a pig snorker. I'm still here, homeboy. Hey. Hey, brilliant name, Pig Snorker. Yeah, I'm almost asleep. I must thank my cousin who I'm staying with for the name. I think she called my dog Pig Snorker, and I thought, that might make a good name for a character, and well, I ended up creating it into a villain character. She was really not too pleased about that part, but so his hands obviously are not pig-like Hooven. He's just developed his own special gloves. He's going really into that motif. Oh, he reminds me my OC Poo Poo. But Joshua is taking on Dillard's role. Trying to do a Gillert. And he has a little bit of hair left. I'm not sure why I didn't mention that, but he ends up having a little bit of hair left. They create a pigtail out of, or I think pigtails are on the sides, but no. I was gonna say August Reedley from Captain Planet. Okay, so I'm not sure whether it made him better than I have before or not. I do like the way that he turned out here. Okay, so I'm gonna save him. No, so looks like we're gonna have time to do a third one here tonight. So what do you think of the two? So we've got Merc, of course. Oh, okay, come on. Okay, can you guys see this? How well can you guys see what I have written here? Oh, ooh, Chubbs is a short hashtag short king. Yeah, he's 5 foot tall. So I was gonna say, which character here do you want to see me draw up next? Like I've been doing these ones. Not sure how well you can see these. There. Okay, the two demons that we're not gonna put in the running here. I'm not exactly sure how tall they are. And White Witch. Do you have any other contenders here? Any other votes? It's beginning to look. No. I know. I gotta do all of them, so that's why I figured why not. Okay, so there is. That's with our cape open. I'm gonna bring up. Uh, I'll put this one over here. Not a big deal. There, hopefully you can see that good enough. I'll open a new. Not so new, but. Ooh, Rick, you want to sell books? She needs. Well, CA is not in every book, so. And the one is definitely a bad or not so good drawing of mine. Um, uh, the second one, or the second one I put up, it's not says I'd say decent size. Um, you're gonna see her hopefully a little bit better in this. The shoulders might be a little bad or off or whatever, but she's 5'11", as you can once and see. Uh, what to? Oh, you know what? Before we go on to that, let's see whether I have her bio up on things. Michelle Whittam, 5'9", single, dirty blonde hair, brown eyes, pharmacist slash drug dealer. She's 127 pounds. First appearance in Sector 13, Unnamed Parents, City of Residence, St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Okay, so Michelle was born in Edmonton, Alberta. When in high school, she got interested in chemistry. She got very well in her very well grades in her class, I guess. Uh, Graduation, she got acceptance letters from many colleges she applied to, finally choosing a college in St. John, New Brunswick. She went out down there. Again, she does excellent in college, after which she gets hired by a local pharmaceutical agent. Over time, she becomes dissatisfied with the money she's making, even though she has become the head of various departments. As she looks around at other pharmaceutical agencies to find that she finds none of them will pay her that much more than the place she is working. Slowly, an idea begins to germinate in her mind. The idea to begin selling drugs on the street for more personal income. Within a few weeks, she starts doing this, and to her contacts, she becomes the White Witch. They start to call her this because she always seems to be there for them when they want her, if by magic. Accepting this new name as a compliment, she begins to develop a persona around it, which has no powers or trained fighting abilities. When any trouble comes, she quite simply gets away as fast as possible by whatever means she can think of. What 5 feet 11, 125 pounds, bumps out up to 140, and she'll be healthy. And that would give her a nice. Not what I was trying to do. And yeah, I want to make my women look good looking, voluptuous. I mean, well, some would be, some will be, some won't. And yes, I do want them some sexy or somewhat sexy. You got to remember, my comics are supposed to be Christian comics, so I don't want it to too over sensual, over sexualize. too over focus on centralizing my characters. Do I know that there'll be people out there maybe that do that? Sure, and I'm not gonna mess with anybody trying to make a couple bucks. I guess doing that sort of thing. You know, it's like it's not like not that I've done super sexy pictures, but it's not like I haven't made a little bit of money off of drawing up various DC and Marvel characters. Although Rob Liefeld would be loving this character. She's got pouches galore. 100. Well, the weight I'm willing to put up, I what I went with when I did made all that stuff up. I got a table. I went through a bunch of comic stuff that tells you weight and all that, and then they did. I did a range of okay, the average female superhero slash supervillain goes from this height to this height, and this from this weight to this weight, and then I did the same of the guys. And I just, as I was creating them, I just put random numbers with each other, if you will, that were in those categories. So those sort of numbers, well, the height I'm not probably not going to change, but the weight I'm definitely willing to put the what would be more of a healthier weight for a character that is that's nothing really to change in my opinion. It's just if I don't know, I can't change, right? So There we go. You know, I can easily probably nowadays I can probably go on to some site and say what is a good weight for somebody of this height and build. I know I was told Canadian Shield was off, and I changed Tim for that sort of thing and that thing that sort of thing whenever I bring it up. You know, I have no problem changing that sort of thing. The weight, it's I'm off. Technically, this is all sorts of pockets on it. Kate don't carry for a lot of her stuff. Oh, we might even be able to, depending on how fast we get this done, we might even be able to get a fourth one done. Are those pockets on her cape? Yes, they are. It's where she stashes a lot of the drugs that she's selling. I must get admit, I probably got the idea from like the guy with the trench coat that opens it up and has all the things hanging. Well, also I got it from I think Lois and Clark, or it could have been in the comics. I'm not sure. Where saying that about some good choices. She doesn't have a place yet. Since you know, Ma Kent put some pockets in the cape so he could have money in on him at all times or whatever to put in there. Now, obviously, she would have a lot more than that in one or two pockets. Actually, when I did up a version of the Canadian Shield costume, I put pockets in mine too. Although I didn't have the over thing, but I did have a pocket in there that I could, you know, put money in, or wallet or whatever. There we go. Okay, two things on the last. Five's not good. One's not good. Five's not good. So we'll merge that with the layer below. And we'll save this. So if you don't see it, uh, you might be able to assume that the characters of mine that you might not be able to see them, but they might have purses, pockets on, not purses. maybe what we should do for the next few minutes is just talk, because I doubt I'm going to get another one done in 20 minutes or so, especially telling you stuff about them, reading over their thing, their bio, if I have it to read over. So next week, we're probably going to start with Pisces, um, unless we're starting doing a character for the Popcross Studios redraw. And just so for those that didn't see that, I did do some work on it this week. I got it colored in a little better. This is a horror kaiju, a Frankenstein horror kaiju. You have the leg of a horse from the Headless Horseman, swamp monster, leg, werewolf, nether regions, creature of the Black Lagoon, arm, a zombie arm, blob, a torso being restrained by mummy wrappings, and the head of a vampire. And although I never did any more on this, I'd like to pursue this. The Great Canadian Albino Cougar Beast. Again, it's supposed to be a kaiju, a giant humanoid cat type beast with, a maple leaf as part of its markings, and a reddish color, and then in a yellowish white. Color. Unfortunately, I did not get these done in time to put in. I gotta put a lot more work into it if I want to get on. Maybe for next month, if I do it, I will do it off air and just record myself doing it. So I'm going to be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Silhouette Game, which will be for Thanksgiving. TV shows that have had Thanksgiving specials. And I'm going to be trying to take a pick from that Thanksgiving special. Okay, so we'll rename these at the bottom here. Well, not at the bottom, but which, there we go. Okay, Control C, Control V. Or WKRP. Maybe you'll have to watch and find out. You'll have to tune in to see whether there's something from WKRP in Cincinnati or not. Maybe you can even guess, see whether you think it is what one is or whatever. There are 15 shows that I've chosen from, and there was more out there too that I could have chosen from. So let's see, control. Oh, I missed that message. As long as one of the shows is the Trailer Park Boys, we're cool. You'll have to tune in to find out. That's all I can say. I'm not giving away any of the shows. I did the thing earlier with a thing from one of the pictures I didn't use, and that doesn't mean that show's not in there. It just means I might have used a different pic if it is. I'm not saying it is or isn't. And I don't think I ever got an answer to which way was better. Oh, the background would be good for. Okay, so we'll have them in black with the colored background. Well, seeing as how we're done almost pretty much anything that I want to do tonight, unless people want to talk, is there anything people want to talk about? Maybe we will end a bit early. And just make sure you've liked and shared, and make sure you're still subscribed. You know, yeah, YouTube has that nasty habit of unsubscribing people. Um, and always keep in on checking whether you are. I'm up to 5. I'm doing like 5 shows a week now. Of course, tonight, Tuesday nights, I just do whatever. Not a lot. I've been doing these a lot. I switched over to a few weeks to doing stuff for the content. Yeah, didn't get stuff done in time to answer, but we could do other stuff depending. Just do whatever chilling talking. I'd like to get people on again, but I think that's more when I get my own place and get some good net. Um, Monday mornings, I'm trying to do a lesser known Bible stories. Right now, I'm drawing up Shamgar from Judges chapter 3, verse 31. Um, Thursday nights, we have this silhouette game where you guess the silhouette of usually a character or it could be characters. This week, of course, it's just a movie TV show. Um, Hopefully, it'll be somewhat challenging with the backgrounds or without the backgrounds. If it ends up being too easy with the backgrounds, I might just end up not putting the backgrounds in. We'll find out. That I'm willing to experiment with. And then, of course, Fridays at 11 a.m., I am coloring up Canadian Shield 3. Would love to see you interview someone like a garbage man or a dentist. Okay. That would be definitely interesting. Not something I normally do on my channel. Of course, I do have interviewed people with their comic books before. And then, of course, Saturdays also I'm trying to I'm doing up my book Insecto. So, and that's in my second round. I've got right now I'm doing Canadian Shield 3, followed by Snowdrift 2, followed by Flame 1, which will then be followed by Canadian Shield 4, followed by Snowdrift 3, Flame 2, and then Insecto 1, the one I'm working on. And of course, we have Alpha Proto working on a Ashcan, which is basically an introduction to the Canadian Shield for people. It's going to be a giveaway, hopefully a giveaway. Or I want it to be a giveaway because it's just an Ashcan. But I'm trying to think of how I crowdfund the printing for that, because that should only be $100 or $200 depending on how many I get printed. But I'd like to have enough to be able to give these away quite frequently. Maybe give them to comic shops to try and get them interested. Even mail some off to comic shops to get them interested in reading others. Or put some new comic creators through the ringer. We've done that before. Timothy Olsen had, I'm not sure whether you know who he is. When he was first starting out, he ended up coming on here, and a few of us put him through a little bit of the ringer. And he learned from it, and he's doing better now because of it, I'd say. But it was a bit funny. We were asking all these questions. He's like, Can we circle back to that? Well, he didn't say that, but I'm joking. He did not use that line from what's her name? But yeah, I've had a few, I'd say, somewhat new comic creators on here before. I think you've seen that. I think that was a laugh out loud. That interview's still up here somewhere. You could if you want to see me talking with creators, some of this stuff will be old, some of it will be old and all that. You could look that up. That's most of those are called talking with, or at least it has that in the title. Yes, Tim is. He's on Melvin 3. He's got a couple other books. Another good dude is the Cyclopean. Chris. I've interviewed him a few times on here. Um, so yeah, there's a fair bit going on. Well, I've got a fair bit in the works. Technically, I've got what, 4 books in the works? Canadian Shield 3, Snowdrift 2. I will count Snowdrift 2, although it's partly done. Canadian Shield 2, Canadian Shield Ashcan, Insecto, and lesser known Bible stories. I got 4 comics that I'm technically having being worked on at the moment. So that is good. So yeah, I guess that's about it. That's all I could say. Except for thanks everybody for coming out, watching, asking questions, and hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. So bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and wonderful day, night, whatever it might be for you. Love you all.